My name is Gabriela Amaya Cruz. I am a 26-year-old transgender immigrant. From the moment I arrived to TGK, I knew from that moment that something was going to go wrong. I have a physical disability called ectrodactyly, which is just a lack of fingers, and my fingers don't straighten out. When it came down to getting fingerprinted, it was just like a lot of excessive force. Even when I told them that it was painful and uncomfortable, it was just still just like very rough. They were discovering that I wasn't a cis woman. Their attitude towards me started to completely change. They transferred us to a little room, and it was two men that were taking me and all my belongings to a little room on the side. And they pointed at my wig and they asked me, "Is that real?" And I'm like, "No, this is a wig." And they're like, "Does it come off?" And I'm like, "Yes, but please, please let me keep it on." Like, wigs for me are a huge form of my self-expression and my identity as a whole. So I basically begged him to let me keep the wig on. And then he goes, "Either you take it off yourself or we take it off for you and throw it away." I complied and took off my wig. They were going to pat me down. And I was like I said, there were two male officers. So I was like, I want a female officer to pat me down because I am a woman. And to my shock, his response was, "I don't care what you think, you're a man in here." And I took a step back and said, "No, I am not a man, I am a woman, and I want to be treated as a woman." The entire night that I was there, my dead name was being shouted out. So everyone there heard my dead name. I was being called he the entire night. I felt really uncomfortable, embarrassed, dehumanized, and fully erased. It took me so long to be comfortable with my identity, and I worked so hard to build this level of confidence and radiance and power towards myself that when I was in there, I felt like all of my hard work and all of my fight was not important, and like it didn't matter. Luckily, I was one of the first people to be released. The female officer that was handing me my stuff was saying, was looking at all of my items that were in the basket. She made jokes about the clothes that I was wearing because they were women's clothing. She laughed and basically told me that she will not allow me to leave the jail with women's clothing. So she said that she's going to provide some clothing for me to leave the jail with. That was just like another thing stacking on top of the many things that I was experiencing in there. What I'm hoping to see from the Miami jail police system and TGK is a better understanding and a better training of what it means to be trans while you're being arrested. What happened to me is just a grain of what happens to my community on a day-to-day basis. Reliving this experience is just so hard because I think about what happened to me every single day of my life. This isn't something that you just forget about and that you just erase from your mind. I will fight for my community until I can't fight anymore.